Two houses on the same street called me in the same month. Same complaint. A sour sewer smell drifting up out of the bathroom sink, and it always came back no matter how hard anyone scrubbed. The first homeowner had been pouring bleach down that drain every single week for over a year. The second homeowner had been using plain 3% hydrogen peroxide from the little brown bottle. When I ran my inspection camera down both drains, one of those pipes looked almost new inside. The other one was coated in gray slime. The chrome trap under the sink was pitted and flaking, and the smell was still hanging around after a year of faithful bleaching. 35 years in this trade, and that pair of service calls is the cleanest side-by-side test I have ever seen. If you are standing in the cleaning aisle right now with a bottle in each hand, this video is for you. The two bottles cost about the same. The internet swears by both of them. By the end, you will know exactly which one wins, job by job, from sink smells to septic tanks to the toilet in your hallway bathroom, and I have nothing on that shelf to sell you. And one warning before we start. There is a mistake people make with these two bottles, by accident, under their own sink, that can genuinely put a healthy adult in the emergency room. I will show you exactly how to avoid it, so stay with me for that part. Before we run the head-to-head, you need to know what each bottle actually is, because under the label they could not be more different. Bleach is sodium hypochlorite. In plain English, that means chlorine dissolved in water. It is a surface sanitizer. It kills germs on whatever it touches, fast, and then it moves on. Think of it like a flamethrower. It scorches whatever surface it hits, and it never digs into the pile. Hydrogen peroxide is water with one extra oxygen atom bolted onto the molecule, and that extra atom does not want to stay put. The moment peroxide touches organic material, grease, bacteria, blood, slime, it gives that oxygen up in a burst of foam. You have watched this happen your whole life. Pour it on a scraped knee and it fizzes. That fizz is the cleaning action. The foam expands, clings, and physically works its way down into gunk. So if bleach is a flamethrower, peroxide is a scrub brush made out of oxygen. One more difference that matters for everything coming up. When bleach breaks down, it leaves behind salty chlorinated residue. When peroxide breaks down, it turns into plain water and oxygen gas. Nothing else. Hold on to that, because it decides the biggest round in this whole fight. So let us put these two bottles through every job people actually pour them for, one round at a time. And I will call each round the same way I would call it standing in your bathroom. Round 1. The smell coming up from the drain. Start with what actually causes it. The inside of every drain line slowly grows a coating called biofilm. Think of plaque on teeth. Biofilm is a living film of bacteria, grease, soap scum, and hair, all matted together and glued to the pipe walls. The bacteria living in that film digest the gunk and give off gas, and that gas is the rotten odor you keep noticing at the sink. Now watch what bleach does down there. Your drain pipe runs vertical, and gravity is running the show. The bleach pours straight down the middle of the pipe, touches the film for a second or two on the way past, kills some surface bacteria wherever it made contact, and then it is gone into the sewer. It never clings to those vertical walls. The film underneath is still alive, still fed, and still glued in place. So the smell fades for a day or two, and then it walks right back in. I have had customers swear their bathroom was cursed because they bleached the drain every week for months, and the odor kept returning. The house was not cursed. The bleach just never stayed long enough to finish the job. Peroxide behaves in a completely different way. It reacts with the film itself, and the foam it makes expands and clings to the pipe walls instead of racing past them. That foam lifts and loosens the upper layers of the buildup, while the oxygen attacks the bacteria all the way through, not just on the surface. Pour a cup of peroxide down a smelly bathroom drain at night, and you can sometimes hear a soft fizz working away down in the pipe. That little sound is the whole difference between these two bottles. And there is a money side to this round. The mystery smell visit is one of the most common calls I run. And by the time a plumber packs up his camera and leaves your driveway, that visit usually costs about $150, mostly to be told what I just told you for free. Round 1 goes to peroxide, and it is not close. Round 2, mold around the drain and inside those little overflow holes near the rim of the bathroom sink. The overflow hole, if you have never thought about it, is the small opening that saves your floor when somebody walks away with the faucet running. It stays damp around the clock, it never gets rinsed, and it grows mold like a greenhouse. Straight answer on this one. Both bottles kill mold on contact. Bleach earned its reputation on mold, and I will not pretend otherwise. But there is a difference in reach. Mold in a drain is not sitting on a smooth countertop. It is rooted down inside porous crud, deep in that overflow channel where no brush ever goes. Liquid bleach wets the surface layer and stops there. Peroxide foams, and foam expands into spaces liquid never reaches. Squeeze peroxide into an overflow hole and watch it bubble back out, carrying loosened gray gunk with it. Bleach cannot match that coverage inside a blind channel. So round 2, both fighters land punches. But the foam decides it. Slight edge to the brown bottle. Round 3, the slow drain, the standing water, the clog. And I am going to be straight with you here, because this is the round where half the internet lies to your face. Neither bottle clears a clog, not bleach and not peroxide. Both of them are sanitizers, and a clog is not a germ problem. A clog is a physical plug. Hair wound around soap scum, bound up with grease, packed into the trap like felt. Killing the bacteria that live on a hairball does not make the hairball go anywhere. You can sterilize a cork. It is still a cork. What actually clears a clog is mechanical. A proper plunger with a full seal over the drain. A cheap plastic zip strip that hooks the hair out in one satisfying pull. A small hand snake for anything deeper down the line. 20 minutes with gloves on beats every bottle on that shelf, and it costs less too. I would rather bore you with the truth than win you over with a trick that leaves you standing over a backed-up sink. Round 3 is a draw. Nobody wins, and anybody who tells you different is selling you something. Quick pause. I put together an ebook called 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes That Will Save You $10,000. It walks you through 50 repairs you can knock out on a Saturday with basic tools, and it shows you when a job is safe to handle yourself and when a contractor is padding the bill. Grab your copy through the link in the description. Back to the fight, and the next round is the clearest verdict in this entire video. Round 4. Septic systems. If your house sits on a septic tank instead of a city sewer line, everything you pour down every drain ends up in a buried tank out in your yard. And that tank is not a dead holding box. It is a living system. Billions of bacteria in there work as your unpaid digestion crew. They break down the solids, eat through the waste, and keep that tank from filling up years ahead of schedule. Kill the crew, and nothing gets digested. The tank just quietly fills with sludge. Bleach exists to kill bacteria. That is its entire job. Even modest, regular bleach use, a splash down the kitchen drain every week, a bleach tablet sitting in the toilet tank, steadily poisons that workforce. I have pumped tanks for families who could not understand why they needed service years ahead of schedule. And when I asked about their cleaning habits, the answer was almost always the same. Bleach, down every drain, all the time. One tank I pumped was barely 5 years into what should have been decades of quiet service. And the only unusual thing about that household was a gallon jug of bleach going down the drains every month. A septic pump out today runs $300 to $500 depending on where you live and how bad the tank looks. That is a painful bill for a habit that was supposed to keep the house clean. Peroxide breaks down into water and oxygen long before it can do lasting harm inside the tank. Normal household amounts pass through without wiping out the biology. It is about as close to septic neutral as a cleaning product gets. Remember that residue difference from the top of the video. This is the round it decides. So here is the rule I give every septic customer I have. If you are on septic, bleach does not go down your drains. Not weekly, not monthly, not as a treat. Round 4 is a knockout, and peroxide never even took a hit. Round 5. What these bottles do to the plumbing itself, because the pipes are in this fight too. Under every sink sits a curved section of pipe called a trap. Plumbers call it a P-trap, and the little water it holds at all times is the plug that keeps sewer gas out of your house. In older homes, that trap is often chrome brass or another metal, and chlorine and metal are old enemies. Repeated bleach exposure pits and corrodes those older metal traps from the inside out. I have unscrewed traps in bleach households that crumbled in my hand like a soda cracker. Rubber takes it even worse. The flapper in your toilet tank, that is the rubber seal that lifts when you press the handle, sits and soaks in whatever lives in that tank water. Drop-in bleach tablets are famous for turning flappers stiff and crumbly, and a warped flapper means a toilet that runs all night and a water bill that climbs for no visible reason. Gaskets and washers age the same way when bleach keeps passing over them month after month. Household strength peroxide is neutral to both. At 3%, it does not attack metal, and it does not embrittle rubber. It reacts with the gunk, then turns back into water, and water is the one thing your plumbing was built to hold. Round 5, peroxide, comfortably. Round 6, and this is the one I told you to stay for, because this round is not about your pipes at all. It is about your lungs. Start with the everyday problem. Bleach in a small closed bathroom is a respiratory irritant all on its own. Your eyes sting, your throat burns, and if anyone in your house has asthma, they already know that feeling. A bathroom is usually the smallest room in the house with the least airflow, so whatever comes off that bottle stays concentrated right at face level over the sink. Peroxide at household strength gives off no fumes at all. In a windowless powder room, that difference alone matters. But now the dangerous part, and I want you to hear this clearly. Bleach must never meet an acid, and bleach must never meet ammonia. Mix bleach with an acid, and it releases chlorine gas. Mix bleach with ammonia, and it forms chloramine gas. Both of those gases have been used as chemical weapons, and either one can drop a healthy adult to the bathroom floor in minutes. That is not internet drama. That is chemistry. And you can create that meeting by accident even if you would never knowingly mix chemicals, because a drain is a blind pipe. You cannot see what is already sitting down in the trap. Maybe somebody rinsed the sink with vinegar yesterday. Maybe an acidic drain cleaner is still pooled down there from last month. Maybe it is a toilet or a floor drain with ammonia residue from urine. You pour bleach in on top, the two meet down where you cannot see them, and the gas rises out of the drain straight into your face. I once walked onto a job where that had just happened. The window was painted shut. The homeowner was coughing on the front porch, and we were lucky the story ended there. If you ever notice a sharp chlorine smell after pouring anything into a drain, do not stand there and investigate. Leave the room, open every window and door you can reach on the way out, and let the house air out before you go back in. Peroxide does none of this. Round 6 goes to peroxide, and this round counts double, because no drain smell on earth is worth a ride to the emergency room. Round 7. Price, and this one is quick. Both bottles run about $1 or $2 at any grocery store or pharmacy. Some weeks bleach is a few cents cheaper. Some weeks the peroxide bottle is a little smaller, and none of it matters. When two products cost pocket change, price decides nothing and performance decides everything. Round 7 is a wash, and this fight comes down to everything you just heard. So let us call it from the corner. For anything that goes down a drain, hydrogen peroxide wins, full stop. It took the smell, the mold, the septic tank, the pipes, and the fumes, and bleach never took a single round outright. That is not a split decision. That is a sweep. Now that verdict does not make bleach useless, and I am not telling you to throw the jug away. Bleach still has a legitimate home in your house. It whitens laundry like nothing else on the shelf, and it disinfects hard-sealed surfaces, a cutting board, a countertop, a trash can lid, better than almost anything you can buy for $1. Use it on surfaces, wipe it away, and it earns its keep. So here is the decision rule, simple enough to remember standing in the store aisle. If it stays on a surface or goes in the washing machine, bleach can play. If it goes down a pipe, reach for the brown bottle. That one sentence is the whole difference between those two houses on that street. One of them followed it without knowing, and one of them paid for a corroded trap, a year of stink, and a service visit to learn it. Before your bonus tip, 4 cautions, and I mean every single one of them. First, never mix these two bottles together. Bleach and peroxide react with each other, and you gain nothing for the risk. Second, never pair either bottle with vinegar. You already heard what bleach and acid create. Peroxide and vinegar make peracetic acid, which sounds harmless and is not. In a closed room, it is a serious eye and lung irritant. Third, ventilate no matter which bottle you are using. Crack a window, run the fan, prop the door open. Fresh air makes every cleaning chemical safer, including the winner of this fight. Fourth, store peroxide sealed in the brown bottle it came in. That bottle is brown for a reason. Light breaks peroxide down into plain water, and an open bottle on a sunny shelf turns into an expensive bottle of nothing within weeks. Cap it tight, keep it dark, and it stays ready to work. And here is your bonus tip, the monthly ritual. I hand my own customers on the way out the door. Once a month at night, pour about a cup of 3% peroxide down each bathroom drain and walk away. No water after it. Just let the foam work the pipe walls while the house sleeps, because contact time is what bleach never gave you and peroxide will. In the morning, run the hottest tap water you have for a full minute to rinse the loosened film down the line. For the sink overflow holes, load a cheap squeeze bottle with peroxide, fill each hole until it bubbles, and let it push the gray gunk out on its own. That routine keeps the biofilm thin, keeps the smell from ever moving back in, and costs you about $1 a month. It is the cheapest plumbing insurance I know, and nobody gets rich selling it to you, which is probably why nobody ever brings it up. One last thing. My ebook, 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes That Will Save You $10,000, was built for the day a scary quote lands. One skipped service visit pays for it, and the savings keep stacking for decades. The link is waiting in the description. Then subscribe to the Mark Silverbridge channel for more honest, no-nonsense plumbing fixes that keep your money in your pocket.